Hello.
So sultry. This is the second time we recorded the intro because I was a little too enthusiastic in the beginning.
He was great. He's hard on himself.
I'm so cozy right now,
Mhm.
and I was just shouting out how I'm like coming to you live from Cozy Town.
This is the first couch cast.
It is. Got a couch. Got it set up for the podcast.
I've never been so comfortable. You're laying down almost.
Yeah.
Hope you don't choke.
No, this is super relaxing.
Oh, and I have a cat on my lap. That's never happened before. Normally he goes on your lap.
Yeah.
He's choosing me today. Normally that doesn't happen. I feel like he chooses you.
Yeah. What weren't you saying that you're afraid that you're like gonna die soon or something, and that's why he's like spending so much time with you?
Oh, because he keeps sitting on my lap, and I'm like, am I gonna die? Because cats can tell.
Can
like,
they?
Yeah, cats can tell when there's like something wrong with you.
It's so funny when you're saying something and you're like not believing your own words.
No, I believe that wholeheartedly. It sounds stupid, which I also do. I'll start to say something and then I realize it's going to sound really dumb and I continue to say it, but I laugh as I say it.
Yeah, your mood totally shifts.
Yeah, that happens a lot. And that's an example of that just happened.
So this is episode 10.
10.
I can't believe we're already at 10 episodes, but here we are.
I know. I feel like we just woke up one day and we're trying to figure out what to do. And we're like, let's film an episode of the podcast. We were like thinking about starting a podcast.
Yeah.
But we weren't making any real moves to do it. And then we just we recorded it on one microphone, the microphone you had.
we had time, like my roommate wasn't here.
Yeah, but we had like a small window of time. It wasn't even that much. And I feel like we had just gone to the store, we just ate. I don't know. It was like a different day.
I don't remember what we did. Yeah, I just remember where we were and what, I remember us recording it together on the single microphone.
On a single microphone, cheek to cheek. And yeah, and now 9 episodes later.
I know.
Or 10, I guess. I don't know.
I am very thankful for this whole thing, for like all the people that have reached out to us. Like we've met so many cool people. We're talking to so many cool people. We hit over 1,000 followers on Instagram.
Mm-hmm. Well, you did.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
We did.
I'm
like, you just made your solo account.
Mm-hmm. And I'm almost at 300.
300.
Right? Hold on. I don't want to say a number and be wrong.
This is as of 4/24 on December 27th.
That's a cool set of numbers.
Yeah.
How do I get to my page?
Jeez, you're going to make me edit this part?
No, I'm at 276, almost 300. It's pretty good. So thank you, everybody. But yeah, 1,000's like a big deal. And you're like over 1,000 now. I think you're like
over 1,100.
Mm-hmm.
And we did a little celebratory video.
Yes.
You want to talk about it?
We went to the mall.
Yeah.
And we tied up my belly button and walked through the mall like a few days before Christmas, or like the week before Christmas. It was definitely Christmas time, Christmas crowds.
Oh, for sure. It was like
people.
Yeah, it was like the week of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was fun. I was a little nervous.
It was a tricky one to do.
It was tricky. And my belly button honestly it didn't tie out as far as I would have liked. Like you couldn't really see it.
Yeah.
You could definitely see it if I like forced it out, like if I pushed
around your belly.
Yeah.
To
which I did at some parts during the mall. I was bleeding.
Yeah, I mean, we took over 30 minutes to try to tie it out. So like sucking it out over and over and over and over, just like, I don't know, we opened up your old wound again. But we had put so much time and effort into it that we're like,
we like really wanted to do it.
We're like, why stop now? Like just fucking do it. And finally got it tied out. And you wore a crop. We
I
picked out what
wore
you were gonna
I
wear.
wore a crop and sweatpants so
Yeah.
that the idea was that I could easily pull up my pants if I
You
needed
need a
to.
cover. Yeah.
And then do you want to explain like your camera setup?
Oh yeah,
Like how
because
we filmed
there were a few
it?
people asking about it. Yeah, I just
Mm-hmm.
like filmed on a GoPro. I had the camera mounted upside down on a backpack. It was like gaff taped to like the outside of my backpack facing backwards. And I was able to monitor it on my phone to make sure like the angle was okay and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I left it basically completely up to you
Yeah.
to like keep the right distance and center yourself and
Mm-hmm.
all that. And the GoPro has like a really great like stabilization setting, so I was able to like walk around and it's like
Yeah.
not like you can't see my footsteps, which is really nice.
Yeah.
So it was super smooth, and yeah, it was just difficult to see your belly button, so it was I don't want to say it was all it definitely wasn't all for nothing.
Yeah.
Like I feel like we got some good little pieces to it. I don't know if
Yeah.
we're going to be able to make like a full video of it just because
Yeah.
there are a lot of faces that we don't want to show in the
Yeah.
mall.
Mm-hmm.
Um
There was a time, so we walked through the food court and people
yeah.
are sitting down and we're walking in between tables and people are like eye level with my belly button,
Yeah.
which that was crazy.
Yeah. I knew
Um,
that was I thought that would give you a rush cuz you were
yeah.
following me like like a train
Yeah.
basically. So I
Yeah.
led us through the food court and then I walked through the aisles
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I had no idea what you were thinking at the time,
You
but
know, oh, sorry.
no, but I was like I knew that for me if I was doing it it would be a fucking
Yeah.
rush. Like
I would do so there'd be parts where people would be walking by like super close to me and that's when I would like push
and
like
show
my
it.
belly around and show it just for
Yeah.
like a quick little rush of like that person like probably like definitely saw it.
Do you feel like anybody saw? Like did you walk away from
Nobody
the mall feeling like somebody saw your belly button?
nobody really I don't think anybody really looked.
Yeah.
But it's also a time where people are with their families
And
and
they're
they're
so
focused
distracted
on
on
like
what they got to get.
yeah, there's so much going on and
It was so busy.
yeah. I think we had an idea of going to the grocery store and doing
Yeah.
it there because we could put the camera in the basket and kind of walk around longer. And we were also afraid of getting caught. Like,
yeah, because like for me,
we both looked I thought it
a little
looks weird
suspicious.
that I'm walking directly behind you and following you like a train. Like, that's weird.
And I
And
clearly
you have a camera
camera
strapped to your back.
that it wasn't like inconspicuous at all. Like
No.
it was very obvious that I had a camera on the
Yeah.
back. And so I just like when we finally got your belly button tied out and we were in the parking lot, it was like, okay, let's just fucking get in and get out. And like that's
Mhm.
it. Like whatever footage we get is what we get.
And we were in there for what, like 15 minutes?
we're probably in there for 15 minutes total, I would
Mhm.
say.
Oh, we were walking through Macy's and that's when it came out. Like it
Yeah.
like the
The
bands like
yeah.
fell off of my belly button and it hurts.
Yeah.
I started sweating. We're walking through like the jewelry like makeup section of Macy's, like the really nice part, and there's like tons of people and I'm trying to like scoot around people and it's like coming out and coming out and coming out and I'm like, "Hey, hey." I'm like trying to tell you but it's like loud in there.
Yeah.
And it hurts so bad. And then I like pulled up my pants real quick to catch it so it didn't fall on the floor.
Yeah. Yeah, because we used so much lube to try
Yeah.
to like get your belly button out as far as we could.
Mm-hmm.
That
thing was greased up.
It was very greased up. Plus like we've learned that when we tie your belly button out for a while, it like, and I've seen this from lots of other belly buttons. I've seen it from mine, like that are tied out. Like they basically like it blisters a little bit and
Oh, mine blistered really bad. Those pictures we took, the video we did the other day.
oh yeah. So if any of you have seen, we currently have a link up on our link tree. So if you go into the bio of my Instagram, do you have the link tree in your Instagram bio?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. So you can go to either of our pages and at the very top, you'll see a link that will take you to a free video that we wanted to give everybody for Christmas. It was an idea that we've had for a while of just like filming her with
A sundress.
like it's cut
Cut
open,
out.
like you see her belly button pulled out. Like I don't know, I just thought it was like a cool image.
Mhm.
And I was like, well, why don't we like film this thing,
Yeah, it was 80 degrees outside.
yeah, it was like perfect.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we pulled your belly button out and
Mhm.
we God, it was probably pulled out for like 30 minutes, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And by the end, like there were a couple blisters on it.
Yeah. I'm scabby.
Yeah. You're gonna need like another like week plus
It's
to
like the
heal up.
worst it's ever looked, I
You
think.
think
Like
so?
it's really, yeah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't hurt.
Yeah, I was happy that when we tied it out that like it was like halfway tied out, if that
Mhm.
makes sense.
Mhm.
Like the deepest part of your belly button wasn't showing, and that was the part that like bleeds. So I was
Yeah.
like, when we actually got your belly button out, I was like, "Oh man, like it doesn't look jacked."
Mhm.
Cuz we had just filmed like you're still healing from the mall video, or
Yeah.
you were
I
at
think
that
that's
time.
why I think that's why like it hurt,
Yeah.
and I think that's why it blistered the way that it did this time because I wasn't fully healed from the mall.
Yeah.
It's taken a lot of beatings. Speaking of pain, you had COVID.
Fuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sucked.
Yeah.
That really sucked.
Mhm.
Over Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Yeah. And was sick days before Christmas.
Yep.
And
Hopefully you're good now.
hopefully I'm not sick for the rest of the winter. That would be a miracle.
You never really get sick.
I haven't been sick since before COVID
Mhm.
at all. I've been
Yeah.
so good. Been so good. And then finally I caught it for the first time.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was gnarly. But anyway, back to normal
Yeah.
and all good.
We've been watching a lot of movies
Been watching so
because
many
of it.
movies.
Like we
Fell in love with Addams Family.
Oh,
After watching Wednesday, we revisited the old Addams Family movies.
so good. So good. Yeah, I saw those when I was a kid and I was like very like whatever about them. Like
Yeah.
they weren't bad, but they weren't like amazing. But like as an adult watching them, like they're so funny.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody needs to give those like another rewatch.
Especially if they haven't watched them since they were a kid. Like there
Yeah.
were so many scenes that were like seared in my brain.
They're
that
so perfect.
Yeah.
Like laugh out loud
Um
comedy.
so today on the podcast,
Mhm.
we have voicemails.
Mhm.
We have 4 voicemails.
Mhm.
4.
4.
4 voicemails, and we have 6 or 7 fantasies. We don't know what we're calling the segment yet.
I thought of Fantasy Island, Red Room.
You taught, yeah, Red Room was kind of interesting.
Yeah,
I like that.
I like that one.
But anyway, for those of you who saw our kind of like call to action on Instagram, we were asking everybody to send in recordings of their ultimate belly button fantasy. So we got a few of those, and that'll be like the last segment at the end of the podcast. And we're just gonna let those play back to back, and just everybody can just sit back and relax and hear people from within the community talking about their fantasies.
Their belly button fantasies.
I think it's exciting. Like,
yeah,
it's kind of cool. Like, it's hard for me to think about fantasy scenarios,
mm-hmm.
you know. But I don't know. Hearing everybody else's was, I don't know. It kind of got my brain working on like what I might be into, what I want, to do ultimately. You know.
Do you have one? Like,
I don't know. Like somebody said, like multiple belly buttons for sure. Like I know that my fantasy will involve like having multiple belly buttons in front of me, like different
just, like,
kinds
lined up.
Like if I had every kind of belly button that I could, possibly want in front of me, like that would be a major like fantasy of mine. Of course, who wouldn't have that fantasy?
Yeah.
But yeah. So I think everybody's gonna really enjoy those. So stick around, and I think we're gonna try to like tag YouTube with the actual like markers, like the time markers for everything, so you feel free to jump around. But you want to get into this first voicemail?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Hi, my name is V, and I've always been into belly buttons. I grew up in the 90s, so seeing friends with crop tops and pierced belly buttons was really frequent. I have to admit though that I love guys' belly buttons more. For some reason, I there is something so special about it. Something that looks and feels vulnerable slash sexy at the same time. I dream about tonguing and touching someone else's belly button frequently, but only recently I've been open to letting someone else play with my belly button as well. I love different shapes of belly buttons, but I had mine surgically shaped for aesthetic reasons. Being into guys' belly buttons at the same time, I see it as a body part that is also feminine, consciously sexy for me. Also, no matter your sex, age, body shape, you can have a cute belly button to show off. That's the sexiness, the intensity, and the abstract idea that a belly button presents to me. People's life change dramatically as soon as they have their belly button cord cut. A trauma is generated since then because you are obviously not longer inside your warm, nurtured state anymore. So a belly button also shows this mark of ounce, vulnerability, and deep transformation that feels so special to me.
I like that she mentions male belly buttons because those don't really get talked about too much.
Seriously, we rarely have anybody talking. I don't even know if we've had anybody on the show talking about that yet.
I feel like male belly buttons in general, like I see on Instagram, they're not like represented. Like even like males who have accounts, like they post like pictures of women's belly buttons
that they like.
They like. They don't like post theirs. I feel like it's very like female dominated.
Female dominant. Yeah.
my brain's hold on.
No, well, I mean that makes sense. Like if I mean my educated guess is that the majority of the community is like straight male.
Yeah.
You know, that'll be my guess.
Yeah.
So therefore that makes sense.
Yeah.
That you know, the number one type of belly button that's like liked and enjoyed is probably going to be female belly buttons.
Yeah.
You know. So I don't know. I've always found male belly buttons off-putting.
Why?
Because they're very hairy. The ones that I don't know. I guess I was always turned off by like the amount of hair. I mean, I have that a little bit, but it's like, but I also
a little bit.
But, okay, but I've never like, I've never liked my own. You know, I never thought mine was appealing. I mean, maybe I was just projecting because like I didn't like mine and theirs looked like mine. You know.
Does it have anything to do with gender though? Like, do you also not really go for them because they're attached to a male and you're not into men?
Sure. Yeah.
Because I could see. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a big part of it too.
Yeah.
But more recently, like I would say over the last year, I've like come across male belly buttons that I like. You know, not as much as like female belly buttons, you know, but they're like, I'm not looking at them like and feeling not repulse. Repulse is the wrong word, but like for the first time ever, I've had like an attraction to certain ones, you know, and that's new.
Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, so I grew up in the 90s too. You did a little bit.
Yeah, I was born. Should I say when I was born?
Sure.
I was born in 93.
Yeah, so you caught it. You caught the 90s. You caught the 90 wave.
90s and early 2000s, which is basically like a trashier version of the 90s. So.
Exactly. So we grew up all around the same stuff too, like with all the crop tops. It's like that's that was just fuel to my fetish, flame going.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a good time to be alive.
I know.
So she mentioned having it like surgically altered?
Yes.
What does that mean?
Well, it's like if people, let's say, have an Audi and they want to get it changed to like an innie.
Mm-hmm.
Like those are super common. Like
Really?
you could actually find, you could find lots of videos on YouTube about like small clinics like offering that like surgery now.
Yeah.
Because it's all done over like local anesthetic. Like they don't need to knock you out.
Yeah.
How
many of those people do you think working on them have like a fetish?
I don't know, because
you're like a belly button like surgeon.
I know.
That's a fantasy.
You gotta think like, how many foot doctors have a foot fetish? How many gynecologists are just like
really into vaginas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I always wondered that about like surgeons who do like breast implants.
Yeah.
Like
are
when
they just
they're
boob guys that
or do they not even see the boobs anymore? Like,
are they just desensitized?
Yeah,
to it all?
like I wonder if they ever see like a pair of boobs and they're like, I'm turned on. Like it has to be the same for a belly button.
I gotta tie my shoe.
Anyway.
No, but V, thank you so much for sending that in. I think that was
a new point of view.
A new point of view and super insightful.
Yeah.
And yeah, I want to see what this next one's all about.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Hi, good morning. I just wanted to start off by saying that I think it's super cool that I stumbled across your guys' podcast. I didn't expect that, and it was really cool to hear and to see. I listened a little bit to some of them so far, and it was very cool to sort of basically be like, yeah, that's exactly what I've been going through for so many years, and it's really cool to meet people that share the same fetish and stuff. So I'll just start by saying I have a YouTube channel and DeviantArt that I've been using for many, many years. It started with YouTube. So my channel was BBCutie170, which I know is kind of a funny name for a guy's channel, but whatever. But yeah, I've been putting videos up for like basically 10 years now. And then I had deleted a bunch over time, which is kind of another story in itself. But anyways, yeah, I think what you guys are doing is great. It's really cool. I hope you post more. And if you do feel like playing this on a podcast, that's fine. But yeah, so thanks, and hope to hear from you guys. Okay, bye.
Thanks.
That was cool.
We looked up his YouTube, but it's not there.
Yeah.
I wonder if it got taken down.
We saw a repost
video
on YouTube from his account.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
with like a milky like belly button. Like it had stuff dripping out of it.
Probably milk.
Well, yeah, yes. It was nice. But then his DeviantArt's really cool. He has a lot of really like pictures he posted of himself.
I think.
And then I mean we don't know for sure.
Yeah.
And then like reposts of like other things, but like all really cool images.
Yeah.
So like I recommend checking that out.
Yeah.
That was cool. Thank you so much for calling in.
Yeah, we appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
All these people messaging us with their kind words, like it's great. It's cool. It's cool when we get messages from people that are like, man, I just found you, didn't know you exist.
Yeah, that makes me feel really good. And they're like so excited.
Yeah.
And like we're excited to hear it. Like it just, I don't know. I've been loving like meeting all these new people.
Yeah.
Everything through this.
All right, here we go. On to number 3.
Okay.
Hey, this is Spectre1220 on Instagram. And I have a question. When you had a belly button fetish, when did you realize it? At what age did you realize it, I should say? Thank you very much.
Okay.
Do you want to go first?
I'll go first. When I first realized that I liked belly buttons, it was before preschool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was fascinated with them when I was like 3-4 years old, for sure. And I don't know what that's all attributed to. I mean, I've gone on about this like in other, episodes. But yeah, was pretty young when I realized it.
Yeah.
What about yourself?
Well, buckle up. It's a long story. I was 28. I didn't know that was a thing. I wasn't really acquainted with fetishes in general, and I didn't know it was a thing until you like brought it up to me, and then like I experimented it like with you and discovered it like with you, and like found out that it's something that I actually like. But there's like, I've mentioned this before, but like when I was playing with it with pliers when I was little, and I like cut myself, and I was too embarrassed to say that like I cut my belly button to my parents, so I just let it bleed until it healed itself.
Yeah.
And like little things like that like throughout my life, but I wouldn't say that like I was like I never played with it or anything. It was just I liked paying attention to it. I wanted a belly button piercing at one point, but no, like last year, yeah, my story's not that exciting. my story's gonna be exciting like years from now.
So the biggest shocker to me in getting to like know you and being on this like journey with you was when you said, if we don't work out, I would still ask my next partner to play with my belly button.
Yeah.
That was, and it wasn't like, it wasn't like a jealousy type reaction. It was like, oh, this
is something I need now.
This is something she needs now, and which to me, that defines the fetish. It's something that you need to get off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like, even thinking about trying to tell somebody about this, I feel like all of you guys, like I don't know how I would bring it up. Like it's very nerve-wracking and like very scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's gonna get exciting. Like ask me in 10 years about my journey.
Yeah. Ripe old age of 28. Found out.
And I'm 29 now, so it's been quite the journey.
All right, here we go. On to number 4.
Hey, you two. Good evening. I'm so glad I finally found your website. I can't believe it. I'm on YouTube quite a bit, and I've looked up a lot of belly button content, but I just come across your page tonight. So fucking cool. Excuse my language. It's almost overwhelming. I'm like, wow, you two. This is like a lifelong fantasy of mine. How you two met is incredible. I've only started listening and watching the videos tonight, so if I stay up all night watching the rest of the videos, I might learn a little bit more about how you met and exactly get more into your fetish and your desires and everything like that. But wow, yeah, if I do that, if I stay up all night, I'd be a mess for work tomorrow, and I'd probably have to call in sick, something like that. But I'm calling from New York. It's almost 8 o'clock at night, and it's December 22nd. And I didn't get your name, the guy, but I got Zoe, the girl's name. But I'm going to watch another video, and I just wanted to know, Zoe, do you have an Audi? It sounds like you have an Audi. I thought it was maybe an innie that could become an Audi. And to the guy, and I'm so sorry I don't know your name yet, but I will after looking more at the podcast. Do you like hers? Do you prefer hers? Or what do you have? It's so cool that you play with each other's. It's cool that you can have this relationship and this thing in common. And I still haven't even listened to the beginning of how you met. It's like, wow. I figured I better call tonight or I won't call at all. So there's so many questions. I'm going to see if I can narrow it down here a little bit, probably take some notes, and share you my experiences too. I have a couple experiences, and I've typically hid my belly button fetish from women. I have told a couple, and one was really okay with it, but she actually used it against me after we broke up, and like told people about it, and that was kind of like, I mean, it could have been exciting and cool, but in reality, it was pretty fucked up. It backfired, and it just was embarrassing. And I'm like, you don't need to tell people that. That's pretty messed up. And then I like I heard the guy in the podcast here saying that he was in a relationship one particular time with a female, and he had to suppress, and not confess his fetish, which was very anxiety provoking, which I can totally relate with. So yeah, I'll just like really want to watch your videos more. I'm calling because I just want to share my excitement on the whole thing, and I'm going to look more into your videos and listen more. And by the way, thank you for including the transcript. I think that's awesome. That really makes the experience so much cooler and so much more exciting. Anyway, I'll tell you more. I'm going to try to email you guys.
Oh, got cut off.
Oh.
Yeah. Our voicemails only have a 3-minute limit.
Oh, okay.
But he was at the tail end anyway. It sounded like.
Yeah, he got everything in there. That was a really great voicemail. Thank you so much.
Super messed up that he had to go through that though.
Yeah.
Like that is my biggest fear.
Yeah.
Is any of my friends that I've told just, they have no reason to be mad at me, but that's the scenario. They're mad at me about something. They're trying to get back at me, and that's their
blown
MO.
Up. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like such a fear.
Yeah.
But also I feel like it's irrational. It's like, what care in the world would these people have to like share that information? Like, if anything, like my ex, like from my last relationship, that's probably top of the list of who I would imagine would like share that to somebody, but I don't think she would share it to hurt me. Like,
no, I could see sharing it just to talk about like your guys' relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the people that I know that she would share it with, I know that they wouldn't say anything.
Yeah.
So it's not like a super uncomfortable situation.
Yeah.
But still, like it's not for her to share.
Yeah.
I feel,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He did ask us some questions.
He did. He asked if I like yours and if I prefer yours.
He asked what kind I have.
Yes.
I have an innie.
Yeah, you have an innie, which we turn inside out with suction tools.
Yeah.
And, but no, it is a very, very deep innie.
Yeah.
Very much wants to stay an innie.
Do you like it?
I do like it. I do. Do I prefer it? No.
Yeah.
Like it's like when people ask me what's my favorite belly button, like I don't describe yours.
Sometimes I wonder if you were to see my belly button like on Instagram and if you didn't know me, like I wonder if you would like it.
I would.
Yeah?
I would.
Oh.
Yeah. Because I think I described this before, but like the belly and the shape of the midsection has a lot to do, or
it's a lot to do with like the way you feel about the belly button. Because that's how I feel.
Sorry.
It all goes together.
It all goes together, but I think I'm the opposite. Like, well, no. I said that. That was right. Okay. Yeah, the shape of the belly makes me like the belly button more.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Same.
they do work together. But I like your shape, and therefore I like your belly button like more than I probably normally would. But no, I love how deep it is. I wish it was like shallower. Like I wish I could touch the bottom with my tongue.
Yeah.
That's what I wish the most.
Me too.
Because like I'm tongue tied, literally. Like that web at the bottom of my tongue goes like to the tip.
Yeah.
So I can't even point my tongue up, when I stick my tongue out. So when I stick my tongue out to lick your belly button, like that web is on my bottom teeth and it like hurts.
Yeah.
So I have to like shove my face into your belly to get it in further.
I didn't know what tongue tied meant. And the first time that you told me you were tongue tied, I was like, oh. I remember.
Like I couldn't find the words to say it.
You're like, I'm tongue tied. And I was like, oh.
No, that is my educated guess that is where the term comes from.
Okay.
That's my educated guess. I can't say for certain.
I always thought tongue tied meant like your words aren't coming out correctly because your tongue is in a jumbled mess.
Because you're nervous about something,
like
it's like
it's all like I'm tying my arms together right now. Like it's like this.
Oh no. It's like, to me, it's like a term for someone who can't get the words out because they're nervous and flustered about something.
Yeah.
Like,
but like the visual would be like your tongue's tied, like how I'm doing my arms right now.
well, it's not physically like doing anything.
No, but like no, but it's supposed to represent that. Like if your tongue could do this. I keep turning my arms like I'm a 5th grader on carpet time. Or 5th grader. Something's wrong with me today. 5th graders
doing carpet time.
I mean, they do carpet time.
5th graders. We're off topic. We're not going to start talking about 5th graders and whether or not they do carpet time.
if you know a 5th grader, ask and write back. Anyway,
watch, that's our most responded to, like, call to action.
It's urgent. Let me know.
About whether or not I prefer yours.
Oh,
yeah.
Thanks.
But I do like yours.
Mm-hmm.
I do like your belly button.
Yeah.
Like, but my favorite kind is like an in-betweeny, like outie, like one that looks like it has lots of folds and interesting parts to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Does it ever turn you on when you see my belly button?
Yeah.
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 Mm.
Especially, man, when I first met you and you were cutting my hair,
mm-hmm.
and like there was that one. I mean, there were a couple. I don't remember when it was the first time I saw you in a crop. Like you wear them all the time, but
yeah.
I don't think it was the first 2 visits. I think it might have been like after some point after the first 2 visits.
Yeah, so you've already known me.
Yeah, so you already had cut my hair a couple times, and then I saw you in a crop, and I remember you were reaching up for something, and like the top half of your belly button like appeared above your waistband,
mm-hmm.
and that got me a little flustered.
Oh.
I don't know if I ever told you that.
No. We should role play next time I cut your hair.
Oh my god. Yeah.
We can film it.
What were you gonna say?
I don't know.
Oh man.
Hot.
Hot. All right.
Thank you for sending in the voicemail.
Yeah, thanks for the voicemail, man. We really appreciate that. We're glad that you found us. Like, I have a feeling there are like a bunch of belly button fetish like stragglers that are like out there on the internet that just have not made their way onto Reddit. They, I don't know. So it's hard scrolling through the mess that is now YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm pretty sure everybody listening who looks up their content on YouTube or used to like knows what I'm talking about, where it's like you'll get it just seems like a lot of spam. It doesn't even feel like they're actually like belly button related, but it's like you'll get like nowadays you'll get these like weird animated videos where it's like, I don't know if it's like ASMR or it's supposed to be like calming or along the lines of like a pimple popping video, but it's literally an animated video of like these tweezers like pulling out dirt from a belly button, like piece by piece by piece. And there's a bunch of those, and I don't know, you just like don't, when you look up belly button, like you don't actually come across like anything that you're actually looking for. So I'm pretty sure there's like a bunch of people out there who, I don't know, they might see our thumbnail and like not think anything of it and just like scroll right past or something. But no, super glad that you found us.
And like, please like do like get back to us with like your other questions and stuff. He said he was gonna like take notes and have like other questions. Like I want to hear from him again.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool.
Really nice and interesting.
Yeah. All right, well, we're gonna take a little break, and when we come back, it is gonna be fantasy time.
Yeah, Red Room.
So we put out this call to action, I would say about a week ago, for people to send in their ultimate belly button fantasy to us in a voice recording. I feel like a deeper connection to everybody when I can hear their voice.
Yeah, it really brings me joy and it makes me feel really comfortable.
Yeah. It's something that to me is important. It's a step that I feel we are taking that is different. You know, we're kind of leading with our voices in terms of content, you know. I guess I just want to hear more from people. Like, I don't want to be the only ones.
Like in this way. Yeah. I want to feel more connected to people, and, you know, we all share the same, like, common interests. And, like, I think it's really cool to, like, come together and share our fantasies like this, because we don't get to tell anybody else.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
like,
Typically,
this is it.
what, you know, I can't say for certain, but there's a good chance that what we're about to hear next, like, people keep this super close to the chest and don't really share this with anyone.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we got a few of them for you, and enjoy.
So, hello everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about one of my greatest belly button fantasies and having a belly button fetish. And this might seem something like a very simple fantasy, but I think personally the more simpler the better, because a lot of people like to do go beyond with their fantasies and do all sorts of different things. There's nothing wrong with experimenting. Of course, I would definitely love to try to experiment all the things like candle wax and pulling it out to become an outie, like with a syringe and, you know, needles and all sorts of different tools. But my greatest fantasy ever, and like I will mention this, just so you know, I am not really a big fan of torture, BDSM, or things like that. I do like it, but I do not like enjoy it as much as I would something that's just passionate and slow. So here is my fantasy. I love, I've always been thinking about this fantasy, but to have a guy just hold me down by my waist securely, just lightly put some pressure on it just to secure it tightly, even though I'm trying to move, as he is doing everything to my belly button. I'm laying down on the bed and he is on top of me. He would first start off by giving me kisses all over my belly and eventually sliding down to my navel. And once he reaches there, he gives me a kiss on my belly button, and he just slowly enters his tongue inside and slowly wriggles it around in there. And after that, he takes his finger and starts to gently swirl his finger around in there, gently fingering it throughout. And there is a back and forth pace of fingering and eating out the navel. And of course, one of my greatest pleasures of all time is to be bitten. So I would love for him to leave bite marks and hickeys on my belly, especially my belly button, like literally just like biting, try to suck on my whole belly button, like try to suck it
with their mouth. And yeah, like that's one of the things that I look forward to when I have someone play with my belly button. That being a male, I prefer to have a male do it to me. So yeah, that is one of my greatest fetishes, or fantasies, sorry. And it's part of my fetish, but one of my greatest fantasies. And I would be half naked, like only wearing panties, or like a crop top. And the guy would have to be shirtless, wearing boxers or just shorts or sweatpants, but he has to be shirtless. That way, it just makes things better for me personally. So yeah, overall, that was my fantasy for this fetish that I have, that we all have. Thank you for taking the time to listen.
When asked the question, what's my ultimate fantasy? I suppose my ultimate fantasy is really to have an opportunity to play with multiple belly buttons at the same time, to sort of meet with multiple people within this community, which is an important aspect of it to me. It's being able to connect with that person on this level, where, you kind of understand each other in this cool little way that nobody else can really truly deeply understand. And I think it's a really unique experience when you get multiple fetishists together. I think it's a lot of fun, and I've had the experience of meeting with people on a singular level, and I've made a lot of really good friends in this community that way. I've also made a lot of really good friends, and I've never met them, and that's okay too. Everybody's sort of running at their own pace here. It took me a long time to really want to get to a position where I felt comfortable with sort of trying to participate with another person, even if they weren't necessarily, if they didn't have this fetish, and just sort of being open about that with my partners in the past, with past partners rather. But I think it would be really cool to get a bunch of fetishists together, a bunch of people who have the same fetish, the belly button fetish, and sort of have like a play session, I guess. I suppose you could call it a belly button orgy, or a threesome, or a foursome, depending on how many participants you have. But it would be really cool, because I truly believe in the expression, everybody's belly button is really unique. It's almost like a fingerprint. I think that comparison is really, really true. Everybody's is unique to them, and it's a little different. But with that being said, I do think that they can fall into separate general categories. I do think, beside just like any outie, in-betweenie, you have things like, the T-shaped belly button that's got sort of like that little hood over the top, or like sort of the like narrow slit belly button, which is, really cool in and of itself for its own reasons. Like you can sort of pull it apart and sort of kind of get into like the crevices where it might feel really good. Things like that, or like different types of outies, like the swirly, which is, I have found at least an incredibly rare belly button, and I haven't had the distinct pleasure of experiencing that, but I suppose you could call it a sub fantasy. Would be to have that experience and play with one, because I think that everyone's belly button, whatever the shape or size or depth or protrusion however far it may protrude out, if it's an outie, is unique, and it's really cool, and it's something that everybody can kind of sort of be proud of. It's like it's sort of an identity in a kind of really singular kind of manner, and so I think it would be really cool to just get a whole bunch of different types of belly buttons together, and just everybody kind of has their fun. So yeah, thanks.
I'd like to sit in the edge of the bed and have a girl with the same fetish opening up my belly button so wide that she can see the end of it. She opens it with just one hand, with 2 fingers only on that hand, and then look at it with desire. Then she sticks 1 finger of her other hand in my belly button and start twisting it, like screwing my belly button in and out, then in and out, then in and out, left and right. After that, make my belly button wide open with 2 fingers of each hand, like very wide, and then start sucking it and licking it. Very sexy.
Hello, this is Evie from Evie Expands. I'm now going to talk a little bit about my ultimate belly button fantasy. As some of you may know, I have an outie belly button. Following the birth of my son 18 months ago, I hated it. I really didn't like it. I wished it would pop back inside, but it didn't show any signs of going. And it took me a long time to come to terms with how my belly looked postpartum. But I realised that actually it was a gift and not a curse to have this little pot belly that expands rapidly when I stuff. And I do like to stuff. I enjoy my food. I decided to embrace it and put a few photos out there and see what happened, and they were very popular, so it has allowed me to put myself out there in a way that I never thought I could and be my honest and true genuine self. So I suppose in terms of my belly button fantasy, it's just being able to be completely free of thinking I must look a certain way, I must act a certain way, and just allowing myself to be completely in the moment of being with someone physically and not worrying about how I look or how my belly looks, to be as full of food as I want to be, popping out as much as I want to be, and having it loved for what it is. I think for a woman, it's that kind of genuine, present, mindful experience that makes it a much more enjoyable physical experience. I know the audience of this podcast is probably a lot of men, and you'll be wanting me to say things like, somebody who comes in and starts rubbing my belly button and turning me on. Maybe things involving belly play with ice or chocolate or whipped cream. That's all really fun. But I have to be feeling comfortable first. Most women have to be feeling happy and comfortable first before any experience is enjoyable physically. And so just being accepted and embraced and loved of who I am physically is my ultimate fantasy. Thank you very much.
So as far as what my ultimate navel fantasy is, I don't have a huge one. I do have a few small fantasies I think about from time to time, but they all have something in common, and I guess this is my ultimate fantasy, which is just my desire to be intimate with somebody's belly button. I definitely fantasize about fingering and licking it on its own, like certainly is something I'd like to do as part of foreplay, but I also like the idea of having a navel play session where I use certain objects on somebody's navel. Stuff like pencils or candles or thin paintbrushes or small vibrators, like stuff I've thought I'd like to put in somebody's navel. I have a specific scenario like this actually, where I'm a lab technician and I'm performing a naval exam on my partner, and I would finger it and use the objects, but I would also do it in like a laboratory setting where like I have a control and I would go through each object like slowly and kind of like I'm moving on to different segments. Like I'm beginning pencil stimulation right now, like shit like that, and I'd collect data. But yeah, a belly button play on its own, definitely being intimate with someone's navel is a huge fantasy for me. I also really like talking about belly buttons, specifically teasing. I really like the idea of somebody teasing me with their navel, talking dirty about it, saying things like, do you like it? Do you think it's sexy? What do you want to do to my belly button? Dirty talk and teasing is definitely something I've always found very exciting. I also like the idea of someone using their clothes and their navel to tease me, like they act like they're about to show it, but then they don't, and I've always liked that as well. And from all this, I'd like to feel flustered and embarrassed, but not in a bad way, if you know what I mean. Like, I'm definitely not into humiliation or any hard stuff, so there wouldn't be any of that here. And this brings me to my last major fantasy. It's a lot more submissive, and it really just has to do with somebody else being in control and making me play with their belly button, like dominating me with it. Like before with the teasing, this wouldn't be in any hard way, but I still would like them to like hold me down by their belly button and tell me how to play with it. And that's just another big fantasy of mine. Now, I have one more thing I'd like to add. It's another fantasy of mine, but it's something I remember, like it's something I've wished would come true before. And I bet this is also something that a bunch of other people like me have wished would come true, but it's introducing somebody to the fetish or to navel play, and then they realize that they're actually into it, or they kind of like it, like what happened with Zoe. So yeah, those are my biggest fantasies, those are my biggest scenarios, my biggest desires, and thank you for trying to make this part of the internet a bit more connected. And once again, thank you for having me on.
I was never a guy that is into torture too much. I always enjoyed watching needles and screwdrivers and stuff, but since I've never done that before to a girl, I've just never I don't think I will ever know how much I like it until I do it. But yeah, part of my fantasies is for sure to use a needle inside that deep belly button and just looking for the bottom of it. And also another thing that I one of my fantasies is to light off a cigarette inside a girl's belly button. I know that might sound rough, but I've always thinking about it, I've always enjoyed it because I've seen it in a video a long time ago. And also the walks, of course, just the idea of kind of burning a belly button, I kind of like it, but I don't know if I will actually like it when I have the chance to do it. And so these are my main fantasies for sure. But as I said, I mostly like fingering, licking, and kind of worship play. But at the same time, I would like to have like a tools box full of tools like Q-tips or needles, screwdriver, and kind of. Oh, and I forgot one, which is using like a hammer to push a needle or a screw inside a female's belly button. And that's another one that I've recently explored inside my mind, as part of my fantasies. So yeah, these are my fantasies. I know they might not sound the most entertaining thing, but I'm not like, I don't think I am in the stage of having so many belly button fantasies yet. But yeah, that's me. Hope you enjoyed and have a good one, guys.
Those are great.
Those are really good.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you to everybody who sent in a fantasy recording.
Mm-hmm.
We know that that's like super personal, and
yeah,
you know, speaking and letting us hear your voice isn't the most comfortable thing.
Yeah.
But we hope that it's something that y'all can like grow more comfortable doing. Like I know for me, many of you who've been listening know that it wasn't the easiest thing for me in the beginning for me to talk about belly buttons.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my whole life I've been going on, getting so clammy and weird whenever I would hear people mention the word belly button, or if I ever had to say it for whatever reason, like I would almost avoid it at all costs.
It feels wrong.
Yeah.
And just speak it out loud, to send in, like a voice message or a voicemail to people about something you keep so private.
Mm-hmm.
It's like really scary, but
but this is special. This is a special place for everybody to come together and share those experiences and get to like build connections with people based on like these shared experiences that you might be hearing in these recordings we're sharing.
Mm-hmm.
We're about to close out 2022.
I know, their last episode of the year.
I know. Thanks everybody for listening.
Yeah. If you we have a phone number that you can send the voicemails in on.
Yeah, if you guys want to call in and leave a voicemail talking about like your experiences, or
questions for us,
or questions, or you just want
anything you want to say,
tell us how we're doing. I don't know. Have any suggestions about like segments you'd want to hear?
Ooh.
You can give us a call at 773-893-0656.
Or send in a voice memo.
Yeah, you could email us a voice recording that you like, let's say record on like the voice memo app on your phone. You can send that into outiebyte@gmail.com. But as for the phone number, it's completely voicemail only, completely anonymous. We only share what you decide to include in the recording. Yeah, we hope to hear from you guys in the new year.
Yeah.
And thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you so much.
We'll see you guys next year.
Woo.